Hello, I'm Dr. Larry Carnes, and welcome to Spotlight TV. We're so glad that you could join us today for another powerful and exciting episode, and we have a very special guest with us. Elaine, how are you doing today?
I'm really well, thank you for asking, and I'm very happy to be here, virtually, that is.
We are honored to have you. Do this for us. Introduce yourself to our viewing audience and let them know a little bit about who Elaine is.
Yes, well, I am a Santa Fe, New Mexico author of 6 or 7 books, and I'm also an avid snowshoer and hiker, a grandmother of 3, parent of 2 fine grown sons, and fulfilling my dream by writing full time. My love has always been fiction. I've had a number of very successful nonfiction books, but my new love, fiction, is what I'm able to delve into at the moment.
That's so powerful. We're going to begin to get into this very powerful book. And it's fascinating because I see here a young girl, barely alive, washes up on a beach near the Indian ruins. Thus begins a journey of discovery for Richard and Rita. Talk to us about that and share with our viewing audience what this is all about.
Okay, The Hand of Ganesh,
yes,
my newest novel, is about a search. 2 women, Clara Jordan and Arundhati Benet, are adopted. They're adult adoptees, and they've always felt parts of them are missing. They long for family. They don't have roots. Well, they have them, but it's like a forest. There's not a family tree. And they're in search of their birth parents. Clara has searched unsuccessfully for her birth mother in a book, All the Wrong Places. She's the heroine, and Arundhati is a student. Arundhati is 20 and Clara is 27. They meet in New Mexico. Actually, they meet in my hometown.
yes.
And they go, Arundhati inherits enough money from her aunt Miriam, to do something. And so they decide to go to India, and they wander about. I can't tell the readers, potential readers, whether Arundhati finds her birth mother, but that's the reason they're going. And they also have to return a fragment that they found in Aunt Miriam's attic, the hand of the Hindu god, the statue, Ganesh. It's an ancient relic. And so they're trying to return it to the waters of India. And in between, they have a lot of adventures, sometimes harrowing, because it's set in the 80s before there were cell phones, and they get separated with millions of people in the Kumbh Mela, which is a festival that good Hindus go on every 12 years and dip into the Ganges, so they'll be reborn in a higher caste. And Arundhati becomes very ill. But I don't want to give it all away.
Absolutely. Now, it says here, as the multi-generational story progresses, these 2 young women remain obsessed with finding their birth mothers, as you said. Of course, one from Santa Fe, New Mexico, the other were born in India. And then you share this, you says the pair are compelled to travel to the subcontinent. Chapter 1 speaks of the girls that's washed up on the beach. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, it's a bit of a puzzle, but not really, because it's a former Arundhati who, previous to Dottie, as she's called, was kidnapped. Well, actually, it's part of human trafficking, which I read about in southern India during the 80s. I've been working on this book practically all my life. And she recurs in a dream. The book starts with a dream, and Arundhati keeps coming back to this. Dottie, it's a dream that she has, a recurring dream of another Arundhati. And it it leads her to a self-realization and an acceptance of the fact that she is an adoptee. She doesn't have a clear family tree, but she comes to a reconciliation, as does her friend Clara, an acceptance, like, well, this is the reality, and we love what is. But it takes their wandering around India and seeing all these gurus and spiritual happenings. They're Hindu, of course, they're not Christian,
Yes.
but they come to accept themselves as adoptees, sort of lost daughters. But they find they bond, a wonderful friendship.
Okay. So in their search to uncover and discover their true identities, they discover each other, and then there's a bonding that takes place that sort of brings some fulfillment to their lives.
Very, very much fulfillment. In fact, well, this is a spoiler, but Arundhati meets somebody at the ashram after she becomes very ill. They become separated. She falls into the Ganges. She, unlike the Hindu pilgrims, doesn't have immunities. I mean, they dip in it and they don't get sick, but she doesn't have the immunities. They end up in an ashram, and there's a handsome medical student, Ashok, who is Indian American, and he and Dottie slowly are falling in love. But I don't want to tell more. But she finds not only her best friend forever, Clara, they really bond, but she meets someone who will be in the next novel very important in her life.
Yes, that's fascinating. Now, chapter 3 talks about Findlay, Ohio. There's a date in there, April 1948. Richard is at the bedside of the professor. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay. That is Arundhati's relative, Richard Benet, who is the one who receives the Hand of Ganesh. Excuse me. Okay. In Beast of Bengal, the first in the series, these are all published by Pokal Press, by the way.
Okay.
Richard Benet goes to India, comes back, and his favorite professor is at death's door. This is a previous novel to Hand of Ganesh. And he receives enough money to go back with his bride. World War II has ended, and Richard wants to go back to India. He's fascinated by India. And the professor says, well, you have to return this stone fragment. That's how the fragment ends up in the attic. It's all spelled out in the novel.
Yes.
And, Richard gets a small fortune to take his bride, Rita. Well, it's Riva in the book. My real mother's name was Riva, my adoptive mom. So it's background for Arundhati's, heritage, her adopted heritage.
Yes, yes. And it is so powerful. Now, I was just in India about 3 weeks ago, so I just returned from India.
Oh.
And so now, but it's fascinating, this journey. Now, during the process, give our readers some nuggets. Of course, we're not going to reveal everything, but give them some nuggets, because it's a continuation, and the novels that you've written are connecting with each other. Mm-hmm. It's a progressive story that's taking place. So sure. Give our readers some nuggets that will want them to go out and not get just one novel, but get the collection so that they can put it all together.
Oh, that's such an excellent point. Well, Beast of Bengal takes place first, and it's based on my late father's sojourn in India. He, unlike you, I'm not sure what took you there, but there are many reasons to go to India. He was assigned there by the U.S. Army Air Force, and he was stuck there for 18 months and wrote letters to my mother every single day. And some of those letters are in Beast of Bengal. There's a grisly murder that happens at the beginning of Beast of Bengal. And my dad, well, Richard Benet, the character, has to deal with this, and he wants nothing more, Richard Benet, the character, plus my real father, he wants nothing more than to get back to home, wife, and love.
Yes.
And so he is at the deathbed of his professor toward the end of this and gets the relic. And he means to, they do go to India, but he, for some reason, doesn't return it to the Bay of Bengal. You're not supposed to take relics from Hawaii or India or anywhere, or Native American lands where I live. There are a lot of those. You don't take the relics away, you leave them with the land.
Yes.
He doesn't get there. So the relic, thanks to Richard Benet, ends up in Aunt Miriam's attic. Okay, so pardon me, another book here. All the Wrong Places.
Okay.
Sarah Jordan, another character who will be featured in The Hand of Ganesh, and she goes to the Southwest to find her birth mother. She's a teacher, and her birth mother, she learns, sadly, has already passed away. So her quest is, instead, she meets the world's worst bad boyfriend, and fortunately, he dies. I get to kill him, and that's kind of that's what you can do as a fiction writer. Just the ones who deserve to die. No, that doesn't sound kind. But anyway, Clara goes back to Santa Fe from Red Mesa. She lives in Red Mesa. She's at loose ends. Dottie's at loose ends as a disenchanted student at St. John's College, and the money comes along. She needs a year off, and the two women they become like sisters because they both are questing for family. They want to know who they really are.
So they have this common bond that's brought them together, and it's really a kindred spirit that takes place. Listen, we have a couple of minutes left. I want you to take 60 seconds and share with our viewing audience your contact information, be it website, email, anything of that nature where our viewing audience may want to reach you.
Okay, Elaine, Elaine, my first name. Then there's a dot, and Coleman, Pinkerton's my author name. Coleman is Coleman. Elaine.Coleman, 2013, 2013 at gmail.com.
Okay.
And I'd love to answer more questions or tell people how to get the book, which I will mention. It's available at Amazon and from my wonderful publisher, Pokal Press. You can just Google Pokal Press.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So there are 3 books that are available right now that you showed us. And so give us the name of those 3 books again.
Yes, if you'll bear with me. We have the first one is Beast of Bengal.
Beast of Bengal, okay.
One, but they don't have to be read in order. They're standalone as well. Okay, All the Wrong Places.
All the Wrong Places.
And the newest one is The Hand of Ganesh. And then there's a newer one coming out, which I added to my late parents' love letters, From Calcutta with Love. If you write down From Calcutta with Love, you'll find that.
Excellent. We want to thank you so much for being our special guest. Thank you for sharing these exciting books. We want to encourage our viewing audience to go out and get these books. I want to say to you, Elaine, thank you so much for being a special guest with us today and such a fascinating storyteller. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. What does that mean?
It means the God in me honors the God in you.
Oh, excellent. Namaste. Listen, thank you so much for joining us right here on Spotlight TV. We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.